For the first time in 2023, the housing market has slowed down as the number of transactions in June dropped by almost 15% month over month. Now, this doesn't mean that home prices have dropped as well all across the board. In fact, we still have asset classes that are increasing in price. So how is this possible? Stick around. Welcome back. My name is Andrei with the Medow Group, and in today's video, we're going to take a look at the latest housing market update from the Ottawa Real Estate Board for June of 2023. Before I show you the numbers, here's a quick recap on what we've seen so far this year. The number of transactions or sales have increased every month, and that shows us that buyers and sellers are actively in the market. This is an important indicator as it shows us if the market is more or less active, and it helps us predict what we can expect next month. Now, what's really interesting is that since March, pretty much every asset class has grown in average price, and that is because of our low inventory. The less homes on the market, the more competition and demand we see from buyers, and we were right back to bidding wars for the last couple of months. Not as aggressive as last year, but nonetheless. And even with sales down in June, the average price still increased. And what you really need to understand about Ottawa's market in general is that we are not on pace to help all that new and existing population find a home, because we can't build homes as fast as the demand for housing. I'll link a video above as to the real reason there's a housing crisis in Ontario. Here we have the month-over-month comparison. On the left-hand side, we have the different asset classes. So detached homes, semi-detached, townhomes, and condos. Those are the four most popular types of homes that we deal here with in the market. DOM is days on market. MOI is months of inventory or our supply. And at the bottom, a very important indicator is the number of sales or how many transactions happen every month. Let's start with the number of sales. So back in May, we were at our peak for the year so far at 1,939 transactions. In June, we dipped about 15%, so we dropped down to 1,658, about a difference of 281 transactions. It's a significant difference. Now, what's interesting is that it did not affect the average price, and we'll look at that in a second. Let's talk about MOI, or our supply, months of inventory. So we went up from 1.4 to 1.8. Now we are still in the middle of a seller's market. We are under 2 months of inventory, so very little supply, and that is actually one of the reasons why the average price hasn't dipped, even though the number of sales are down. Days on market has stayed the same. This is something very important for the buyers and the sellers to understand, especially the sellers. They have to be transparent about this. And the agents need to explain to the sellers that on average, this is how long it will take to sell your home. Now, this is an average for all of Ottawa and surrounding area. It will depend. It will be a little bit different in a certain pocket of Ottawa. It will be different in terms of the condition of your home, other factors as well. Let's get into the average price. This is very, very interesting when I look at the numbers. So detached homes in May were $795,000 as the average price. That's what they were trading at. In June, they actually went slightly up. So $800,000 is about the average in Ottawa today for a single detached home. Semi-detached increased by a lot, and I've mentioned this in several videos before. This asset class is one that a lot of buyers skip out on. Now, there aren't as many semi-detached homes as there are townhomes, but you are getting a lot more square footage, a lot more livable area. You are essentially an end unit because you only have neighbors just on the one wall, something that I think a lot of people should really look into. Now, what's also interesting is that the price difference between a semi-detached and a single detached is not that far off either. So semi-detached homes in May were $657. In June, trading around $733. Now, townhomes, the most popular asset class and kind of what that average income producer is looking for, a startup family, a young couple. It's a good upsize from a condo. You are getting a little bit of backyard space. You're getting possibly a finished basement, an extra bedroom, bathroom. So they were trading at $622,000 in May. And they just dipped down slightly to $617,000, so not much of a difference, nothing to kind of be concerned about. Condos, again, this is the asset class that will get you into the market. It is under $500,000. I think the biggest mistake and misconception with a lot of buyers today is that they all want to get into an asset class that is essentially their dream home or one that they really want to get into. But because of the interest rates and because of the affordability and the average income, you are looking at a condo to start off with. Now, that doesn't mean that's a bad thing. What it means is that it will get you into the market, and in a couple years, as the appreciation grows, you'll be able to pay down your mortgage a little bit and then possibly use some of that equity to upsize. So condos were trading at $442,000, increased slightly to $448,000. So overall, as I mentioned earlier in the video, even though the transactions went down, so the sales at the bottom, our months of inventory only increased slightly, days on market about the same, but the prices have increased in some of the asset class. Again, that's supply and demand. We don't have enough going around for all that buyer demand, and this is the reason why the prices still grow. There you have it. Those were the latest numbers from the board and what we saw in June of 2023. Now, historically, we do see a slowdown during summer as consumers are busy enjoying the outdoors, maybe a family trip, but wouldn't you agree that this would be the smartest time to buy a home if you're a buyer? After all, sellers are motivated and still not used to the average days on market, as it still takes longer to sell a home. And to be honest, they need to be very transparent about this. Hope everyone is enjoying their summer so far. Thanks for watching, and catch you in the next one.